Hello, welcome to another episode. And today we answer the question on First Light: what happens when a person dies? Stay tuned for the answer. All right, let's get started. So, we posed the question: what happens when you die? And what we're going to do is look at 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 78 through 101 to answer that question specifically. All right, so first let's start off with the first question. What are some things people believe happen after death? Well, one thing is people believe in reincarnation, that people come back in some different shape or form. They get a redo, if you will, whether it's as some kind of animal, whether as another person. It's just a reattempt at life. Okay, the next response is that most some people, I guess you say atheists, believe that nothing happened. That this is it. That you're just all or nothing here in this current reality that we know. Some love, some hate, but nothing. You just kind of vanish, and there's nothing more after this plane of existence. Others will say that you go to heaven. You're there at pearly gates. You see St. Peter, and you live happily ever after, and that's it. And then on the flip side, people will say, if you live a bad life, you go straight to hell. So let's examine that in lieu of different scriptures, specifically 2nd Ezra. Okay, so question 2. According to 2nd Ezra 7:78 through 101, what happens to a scorner when they die? Or to scorners when they die? So to answer that, we're just going to look at the context itself. We're going to kind of limit it at this point to just that section. So 2nd Ezra chapter 7, 78 through 87. Now, it may be a little bit small, but I will read this, and I do encourage you to look up the passage for yourself. And this is used in the New Revised Standard Version, or the NRSV. And it reads, "Now concerning death, the teaching is, when the decisive decree has gone out from the Most High that a person shall die, as the spirit leaves the body to return again to him who gave it, first of all it adores the glory of the Most High. If it is one of those who have shown scorn, have not kept the way of the Most High, who have despised his law, and hated those who fear God, such spirits shall not enter into habitation, but shall merely wander about in torments, always grieving and sad in 7 ways. The first way, because they have scorned the law of the Most High." Catch that. Because they have scorned the law of the Most High. The second way, because they cannot now make a good repentance so that they may live. The third way, they shall see the reward laid up for those who have trusted the covenants of the Most High. The fourth way, they shall consider the torment laid up for themselves in the last days. The fifth way, they shall see how the habitations of the others are guarded by angels in profound quiet. The sixth way, they shall see how some of them will cross over into torments. The seventh way, which is worse than all the ways that have been mentioned, because they shall utterly waste away in confusion and be consumed with shame, and shall wither with fear at seeing the glory of the Most High, in whose presence they sinned while they were alive, and in whose presence they are to be judged in the last time. Okay, so that's what happened to scorners in 7 different ways. Okay, next question. According to the same passage, what happens to the righteous when they die? And we'll look at the next portion for that, verse 88 through 99. "Now this is the order of those who have kept the ways of the Most High when they shall be separated from their mortal body. During the time that they lived in it, they laboriously served the Most High and withstood danger every hour so that they might keep the law of the lawgiver perfectly. Therefore, this is the teaching concerning them. First of all, they shall see with great joy the glory of him who receives them, for they shall have rest in 7 orders. The first order, because they have striven with great effort to overcome the evil thought that was formed with them, so that it might not lead them astray from life into death. The second order, because they see the perplexity in which the souls of the ungodly wander, and the punishment that awaits them. The third order, they see the witness that he who formed them bears concerning them, that throughout their life they kept the law with which they were entrusted. The fourth order, they understand the rest that they now enjoy, being gathered into their chambers and guarded by angels in profound quiet, and the glory awaiting for them in the last days. The fifth order, they rejoice that they have now escaped what is corruptible and shall inherit what is to come. And besides, they see the straits and toil from which they have been delivered, and the spacious liberty that they are to receive and enjoy in immortality. The sixth order, when it is shown them how their face is to shine like the sun, and how they are to be made like the light of the stars, being incorruptible from then on. The seventh order, which is greater than all that have been mentioned, because they shall rejoice with boldness, and shall be confident without confusion, and shall be glad without fear, for they press forward to see the face of him whom they serve in life, and from whom they are to receive their reward when glorified. This is the order of the souls of the righteous, as henceforth is announced, and the previously mentioned are the ways of torment, that those who would not give heed shall suffer hereafter. Okay, so those are the orders. Now, question. Do we have anything in the New Testament that collaborates 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 78 through 101? And I'm going to answer yes. If you look at Luke chapter 16, verse 22 through 26, you have a portion of the story of the beggar Lazarus and the rich man. And I'm going to read that for you as well. And it came to pass that the beggar died, which is Lazarus, and was carried by the angels to Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And in hell, when you look at that word hell, it is Hades, or unseen. It's just translated right that, but it is Hades that is said right there. And in hell, or Hades, he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water, and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things, but now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. And beside all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that would come from thence. So just like in 2nd Ezra, the witnessing and seeing of what's going on either side of the divide, it lines up squarely with 2nd Ezra. So the question that we should ask is, should this New Testament passage be seen as a parable or reality in light of 2nd Ezra 7:78 through 101? And because I know I've heard that in my lifetime that, it's a parable, and people have dismissed it very easily. And next question is, why or why not? So let's answer that. So in the view of first light, it should be seen as reality. And it should be clear. It provides a second witness. Looking to and fro in the New Testament, not really seeing another example of this, but coming to find out that in other records, there is a testimony that backs this up. And as written in 2 Corinthians, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. And this is establishing this particular, the creed, doctrine, if you will. Okay, going forward. And what does Hebrews chapter 9, verse 27 tell us about death and judgment? Does it align with everything else we've seen so far? And the answer is, it tells us in Hebrews 9:27, as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this, the judgment. So yes, it aligns with everything we've seen so far. And another side note is that it rules out reincarnation. Live once, prove yourself this time, and then afterward you're judged on what you have done in your lifetime. All right, so we're just going to use this particular verse again for our sword ready. Is the Messiah in Matthew 10, verse 34, and he said, Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Anyway, this is Renai with week 32. Signing out. Shalom.